Have you ever walked into a room, paused for a second, and thought, wait, what was I here for? Or maybe you've been in the middle of a conversation, and suddenly the word you wanted just slips away. If that sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. These little lapses happen to all of us, especially as we get older. But here's the good news. Your brain is like a muscle, and with the right kind of exercise, it can stay sharp, flexible, and ready to serve you well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Now, when most people think of keeping the brain sharp, they picture crosswords, Sudoku, or maybe even memorizing word lists. And while those are helpful, let's be honest, they're not everyone's cup of tea. Some of them can even feel more like homework than fun. What I want to share with you today are brain games that don't just sharpen your memory and focus, but also feel enjoyable, playful, and worth doing every day. Because the truth is, if it's not fun, you're not going to keep up with it. So in this video, we'll go through 6 different games and activities that have been proven to boost brain function, improve memory, and keep you feeling mentally alive. And the best part is, you can start any of them today without needing expensive gadgets or complicated rules. Let's begin with the first one, which might surprise you. Think about the last time you played a simple card game. Maybe it was Rummy, Bridge, or even just a round of solitaire. Did you notice how focused you were on remembering the rules, keeping track of the cards, and anticipating the next move? Card games are a fantastic workout for your memory, your concentration, and even your problem-solving skills. And here's the thing. You don't have to gather a whole group to play. Solitaire can keep you just as engaged. But if you do have friends or family around, even better. Bridge, for example, challenges your short-term memory and strategy at the same time, and it adds that social element, which is another boost for your brain. Here's a little tip. If you want to make it even more effective, learn a card game you've never tried before. When you introduce your brain to something new, it has to work harder to form fresh pathways, which is exactly what helps keep it sharp. Think of it like giving your mind a new puzzle piece to figure out. The first few tries might feel clumsy, but that's the sweet spot. That's where growth happens. Now, let's move into something that might sound childlike at first, but don't underestimate it. Jigsaw puzzles. Have you ever sat down with a 500-piece puzzle spread across the table? At first, it can feel overwhelming, but once you start connecting the edges and seeing the picture come together, there's a sense of calm focus that takes over. That's not just relaxing, it's powerful brain training. When you work on a puzzle, you're using both sides of your brain at once. One side is logical, figuring out the shapes and patterns, while the other is creative, imagining how the picture comes together. It's a perfect blend of problem-solving and visualization. And research shows it helps improve short-term memory and spatial awareness. And here's the best part. It can be as social or as solitary as you want. Some people love sitting quietly with a puzzle, maybe listening to soft music, while others turn it into a family activity where everyone chips in to complete the picture. You might be thinking, do I really have time for puzzles? And I'll say this, you don't need hours. Just 15 to 20 minutes a day is enough to give your brain a little boost. It's like stretching your mind before a workout. And unlike scrolling through your phone or watching TV, puzzles give your brain something active to chew on, something that challenges and rewards you at the same time. Let me share a quick story. A friend of mine who's in her early 70s told me she started doing puzzles with her granddaughter. At first, she thought it was just a way to spend time together. But after a few weeks, she noticed she was remembering little details more easily, like names, shopping lists, even where she put her glasses. That's the hidden magic of puzzles. They strengthen the connections in your brain without you even realizing it, all while giving you a sense of satisfaction when the picture finally comes together. Card games and puzzles may seem simple, but don't underestimate their power. They combine memory, focus, problem-solving, and creativity in ways that truly keep your mind alive. And the best part is, they're enjoyable. You'll want to come back to them again and again. Now that we've started with games that involve memory and problem solving, let's keep going into activities that not only sharpen your brain, but also bring in a playful, almost adventurous side you might not expect. You know, one of the most powerful ways to keep your brain alive and kicking is to step outside of your usual routines. We all get comfortable with what we know, Our favorite shows, the same meals, the same walks, the same old habits. But when you break out of that comfort zone, even just a little, your brain lights up. That's why the next brain game I want to share with you is learning a new language. Now, don't panic. I'm not suggesting you need to become fluent in French or Spanish overnight. But even the process of learning a few new words, practicing simple sentences, or using an app that teaches you at your own pace can be incredibly stimulating. Think about it. When you're learning a new language, you're asking your brain to build brand new connections, to stretch in ways it hasn't in decades. You're memorizing sounds, matching them with meanings, and recalling them in different situations. It's like building a brand new highway system in your mind. I know someone who started learning Italian at 68, not because she planned to travel to Italy, but simply because she wanted to challenge herself. She told me, at first it felt impossible. Her tongue stumbled, she forgot words as soon as she learned them, but little by little, things started to click. And the surprising part? She said her memory in everyday life started improving, too. She was remembering appointments, recipes, and even phone numbers better than before. That's the magic of language learning. It doesn't just help with communication, it gives your memory and focus a full workout. And here's the beautiful part. You can start small. Pick 5 words a week. Write them down. Say them out loud. Use them in silly sentences. You might even share them with a grandchild or a friend. Suddenly, it becomes fun. And isn't that the point? The more you enjoy it, the more your brain will engage. But if a new language feels too big right now, there's another way to get that same brain boost. And it's the 4th brain game I want to share with you. Music. More specifically, learning to play a musical instrument. Now before you say, "I'm too old for that," let me stop you. You're never too old to make music. Whether it's a simple keyboard, a ukulele, a harmonica, or even drumming on a hand drum, picking up an instrument challenges your brain in ways almost nothing else can. You're asking your memory to recall notes, your fingers to coordinate, your ears to listen, and your mind to translate all of that into rhythm and melody. It's a full brain workout disguised as fun. I once knew a man in his 70s who bought himself a guitar after retiring. He had never played before, but he said he always dreamed of strumming a few songs. At first, his fingers hurt and he could barely switch chords. But after a few months, not only was he playing simple tunes, he said he felt sharper, calmer, and more confident in his everyday life. He even joked that practicing guitar made his hands steadier for things like buttoning shirts and tying shoelaces. That's the side benefit. Music doesn't just help your brain, it helps your body too. And here's something else. Music has a powerful emotional pull. When you're playing a song you love, your brain releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine. That keeps you motivated and lifts your mood. It's not just exercise for the brain, it's therapy for the soul. If you don't want to commit to an instrument, even singing along to songs you enjoy is great brain training. You're remembering lyrics, keeping rhythm, and engaging your breathing. Think about how many old tunes you still know by heart, songs from your 20s or 30s. Every time you sing them, you're pulling on memory, rhythm, and emotion all at once. So between languages and music, you've got 2 brain games that are about much more than just games. They're about creating, challenging yourself, and experiencing joy while you strengthen your mind. And that joy is important. If the brain is going to stay sharp, it can't be all work and no play. It has to feel alive. The wonderful thing about both of these activities is that they grow with you. With puzzles or cards, you can master them and then move on. But with languages and music, you can keep learning, keep adding, keep challenging yourself for years to come. There's always another word, another song, another skill to master. That means your brain always has something to reach for, and that reaching keeps it young. And let me tell you something, when you combine the fun of learning with the discipline of practice, you're not just keeping your brain sharp. You're giving yourself a sense of accomplishment, a reminder that age doesn't define what you can or cannot do. That sense of pride, of growth, is every bit as important as the brain training itself. We've already talked about cards and puzzles, learning new languages, and the joy of music. Each one stretches the mind in unique ways. But let's keep going, because the next brain game might surprise you with how simple and yet powerful it really is. Think about the last time you played a word game. Maybe it was Scrabble with the grandkids, or a crossword puzzle in the morning newspaper, or even just trying to think of rhymes while passing the time. Word games are like a playground for your memory and your creativity. They keep your vocabulary fresh, help you recall information quickly, and even improve your ability to find the right words in conversation. Here's why this matters. As we age, many of us notice that tip of the tongue problem. We know the word, we can almost feel it, but it just won't come out. Word games are like practice drills that keep those connections strong. The more you play, the easier it becomes to recall words when you need them. And it doesn't have to be competitive. Some people love the thrill of outscoring an opponent, while others just enjoy the process of piecing together letters and creating new words. Even something as simple as keeping a small notepad where you write down as many words as you can think of starting with a certain letter, that counts as brain exercise. And the best part is, it's fun. It feels playful, not like work. I remember one woman in her late 60s who told me she started playing an online word game with her granddaughter. At first, she said her granddaughter was much quicker, but after a few weeks, she began to notice herself catching up, sometimes even winning. She laughed when she told me that nothing made her feel prouder than outsmarting a 10-year-old with a clever word. But behind the laughter, she was also noticing something else. She was more confident in conversations, quicker to remember names, and even found it easier to recall her shopping lists. That's the quiet magic of word games. They spill over into everyday life. Now, let's talk about the sixth and final brain game. This one is a little different because it doesn't involve words, numbers, or even objects. It's movement-based. I'm talking about dance. Yes, dancing is one of the most powerful brain boosters you can do. Why? Because it combines physical movement, rhythm, coordination, memory, and often social interaction. When you dance, you're not only asking your body to move, you're asking your brain to remember the steps, to keep time with the music, and to adjust in real time. That level of coordination is one of the best workouts your brain can get. And don't think dancing has to mean ballroom competitions or complicated routines. It could be as simple as swaying to your favorite song in the kitchen, joining a gentle line dancing class, or even following along with an online video. The key is that you're moving your body while engaging your brain. The two together are far more powerful than either alone. I know a couple in their 70s who go to a community dance night once a week. They told me it's the highlight of their week, not only because it keeps them active, but because they leave feeling sharper, happier, and more connected to each other. The rhythm of the music, the laughter when they make mistakes, the joy of being around others. It all combines into something truly nourishing for the mind and the soul. And here's something amazing. Studies have shown that dancing can actually reduce the risk of dementia. It challenges the brain in unique ways, constantly forcing it to adapt and respond to new patterns. So when you think about keeping your brain sharp, don't just picture sitting down with puzzles or books. Picture yourself moving, smiling, and letting the music guide you. So there you have it. 6 fun brain games that aren't just good for you. They're enjoyable, playful, and easy to weave into your daily life. Card games to sharpen your memory, puzzles to engage both sides of your brain, languages to stretch your mind in new directions, music to blend creativity with focus, word games to keep your vocabulary sharp, and dancing to combine movement with memory. The beauty of these activities is that they don't feel like chores. They don't feel like you're sitting down to do homework for your brain. They feel like living. They feel like joy. And that's why they work, because you'll actually want to keep doing them. And remember this, keeping your brain sharp doesn't mean never forgetting a name or never losing track of your keys. We're all human. What it really means is giving yourself the best chance to stay independent, confident, and connected as you age. Every small effort, every game you play, every song you sing or dance you enjoy is like adding one more brick to the foundation of a strong, healthy mind. If you've ever doubted yourself or thought, maybe I'm too old to learn something new, let me remind you, you're not. Your brain is still capable of growth, still capable of change, still capable of surprise. The science is clear. Neuroplasticity, or the brain's ability to form new connections, never disappears. And that means it's never too late to start. So I encourage you, pick one of these games today. Don't wait. Shuffle a deck of cards, pull out an old puzzle, hum along to a song, write down 5 new words in another language, challenge someone to a word game, or simply turn on some music and dance. Do it not just for your brain, but for your joy, your laughter, and your confidence. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one activity you already do that makes you feel sharper? Or maybe you're going to try one of these for the very first time? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. If this video was helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more tips and insights on living your best life after 60. Here's to staying sharp, staying joyful, and proving to ourselves every day that age is just a number. Your brain is still alive, still powerful, and still ready to play.